The gross domestic product is an indicator that represents the total value of all goods and services produced over a specific time period. You can see and hear about GDPs everywhere. They are in newspapers, economic articles, medias, and many more. Even the huge organizations like IMF, OECD, and NATO uses them as a key economic indicator. However, GDP is far away from being a perfect economic indicator. In fact, it's full of flaws. So today, we will talk about the 5 reasons why GDP sucks. Firstly, GDP doesn't measure a country's future potentials. Because of this, a country might not be able to get a loan or find a trade. For example, let's say a nation had vast areas of fertile land, large population, and a mild weather. Because of this, organizations like OECD, NATO, and EU predicted a huge growth from this nation. Based on these factors, IMF lent them some funds. However, despite of IMF support, this nation's GDP only rose very slightly. Afterwards, when this country asked for a fund once again, IMF rejected this offer only because of their past GDP growth. And as a result, this nation's economic recession continued. The second reason why GDP isn't perfect is because it doesn't measure the healthiness of the market. A healthy market encourages open competition, meaning everyone can participate with their free will and balanced development of the industries. But GDP doesn't measure these factors. For example, even though Korea has a high GDP, Korea's market health isn't great. Only a few major companies have a monopoly over the market, and we can see this on a daily basis. For instance, Pear's Baguette has higher price competitiveness compared to other small bakeries. This is because Pear's Baguette is an affiliate of a huge corporate called SPC, which is dominating food raw materials and finance sectors. Due to these huge advantages, Pear's Baguette has over 3,000 stores distributed throughout Korea. If a major company has monopoly over industry, small individual businesses has nowhere to stand, eventually leading to a market centralization. The third limitation of GDP is that it doesn't measure sustainability of human and natural resources. For example, China is well known for their reckless usage of human resources, exploiting people's knowledge, workforce, and skills. As a result, human rights of employees are often violated in China. In addition, China is using their natural resources such as land, water, and minerals very senselessly. As a result, China was able to increase their production enormously, achieving second highest GDP in the world. To sustain and increase their growth, China had to use their resources even more. This could lead to China's resources depletion in a close future. To prevent this, China started to buy the land from other countries such as Ukraine and Cambodia. In particular, China recently bought 328 acres of Cambodian farmland to construct casinos and luxury hotels. Because of this, local Cambodians are forced to move out. Human rights organizations such as Amnesty International are saying this is a huge violation of human rights. Fourth, there's no consideration towards environmental protection. USA and China has world's first and second highest GDP. Because of this, they receive a huge economical and political benefit. For instance, IMF grants them with highest voting power because of their GDP. However, everything comes with a price. To achieve this growth, USA and China emit most carbon dioxide. Since GDP gives no advantages or disadvantages for environmental protection, countries might try to eliminate their environmental regulation to increase their GDP. This could lead to greater environmental destruction. Lastly, GDP has no consideration towards social justice. Social justice means that all persons, regardless of their age, gender, or ethnicity, are to be treated equally. Social justice is usually measured using 6 factors. First, poverty prevention. Second, access to education. Third, labor market inclusion. Fourth, social cohesion and non-discrimination. Fifth, health. And lastly, intergenerational justice. However, these factors are not considered in the GDP. Italy is one of the wealthiest countries in the world. They rank 9th in the world GDP. However, Italy scored lowest to second lowest on the labor market inclusion, social cohesion and non-discrimination, and intergenerational justice, placing them below the OECD's average score of social justice. We all know that it is hard to find the flawless economic indicators, and GDP isn't perfect as well. So far, we talked about the 5 factors GDP doesn't include. And before we trust GDP too much, we should always keep in mind about these. Thank you for listening.